Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 94 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. Now, what the fuck? Wow, immediate trap tick. Let's go quickly put that trap straight out of our way. Well, that's painful. If we fail to disarm it, we have no chance of we definitely have no chance of disarming it out of If we have no chance, yeah, what am I? This hulking contraption hums of power, approaching within a few feet, so it's particularly buzzing in your teeth. So we just need to completely ignore that. That's easier said than done, admittedly. So, which way? I say this way. This looks like it'll be his room.
See now what the flame has shown us.
Oh, fuck me.
Let's go.
Alright, let's fuck these guys up. Oh shit, I didn't realize I turned slug mode off. Fucking hell. Everyone. Heal the fuck up, please.
I think we're the rock.
Well, that was a fuck up and a half. Yep, I saw that a little bit too late, and I didn't mute my fucking phone. Whoops, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, phone's muted. Right, let's go back to stealthing. Let's put a little bit of speed on. Let's have a look at these fuckers. Endurance, what's this? An experimental note. This discarded note reads, Medicchio. 3 weeks of hard work gone, and now a fully articulated frame with them. These crude materials are more unstable than expected, though no less expensive. I will try a slower process. AC, more electricity, perhaps. Along the bottom of the page, a scrawled addendum reads, Too much electricity will require more subjects. That fucker, he's oof. He's got some problems. I think I've got way too many picks now. Like, I legitimately have too many. What's this? This mannequin's head has all but been seared away by some unknown spell. The wood is warped and pitted through. Through. I did say that right. I'm not an idiot, I swear. Fucking hell. Like, just, can you not fucking get hit by a spell once? Just once. Let's go through this fucking door now. Wait. Oh, Durance is... He came out of the thing. That makes sense.
Dark places.
That's... okay, whatever. This platter's been gone entirely untouched, leaving a tantalizing meal to the flies. I wonder why is that. Ooh, camp supplies. Gotta love camp supplies. So that door looks like you could open it. But, obviously, it's not been opened. Huh. Why does something tell me that, he's upstairs and I've just completely bypassed him and just, you know, fucking completely the ultimate act of cuntishness by exploring his underground lair that he most certainly probably doesn't want anyone be looking inside of. I mean, it's not going to stop me, let's be honest, but still.
Steady does it.
I could have given the fucker some... There, see, there's the lever. Everyone stand over here. Durance, be a dear, mate, and go get that. Unlocking that would require the proper key. Then I'm afraid we've been everywhere downstairs. Yeah, I need you guys to get to there. And we're just going to take you off of that. We're just going to run you there. There we go. See? Some she's got to carefully plan. I'm pretty sure there was some loot here that I need to look for. There it is.
Laying low.
Another subject roster. A subject roster this time. This paper contains a loose list of apparent personages separated by date. Godanag. Whatever. Long Watch Falls Bandit. Fuck you, I can't pronounce that. Some smuggler. Falstag, murderer, nice hair. Reilitzenzag, idiot who tried to knife me. Under the list, there is a note of a different hand. Diversus devil, just give me numbers. Interesting, let's take all that, and then let's get upstairs. I'm gonna stealth, because we did just, you know, break into someone's fucking dungeon. Where is it? Huh. Well, that's different. This map depicts the peak of the mountain, with markers denoting altitude. I found this hut, but it doesn't seem to be. Perhaps it is worth looking around. Okay, back underground. Because apparently this is what we're meant. This is what we're meant to be doing. I thought I just completely fucking walked past him because, you know, I'm a dipshit. So there's that room we can't get into. I'm gonna pause it so I can. Actually, no, let's not pause it. Get back over here. That door. There's something about that door, but where the fuck is the key for it?
Keeping an eye out.
I'm gonna put the game in fast mode so we can walk around fast in stealth mode, so I can keep like the extra search abilities coming on, because we need the extra search. We're missing something somewhere. There needs to be a key. I can't rob it. I can't, like, you know, like pick my way through the door. There has to be a key. The question is, though, where is the key? If we're lucky, Durance might be able to find it. Though this is Durance we're speaking about. I can't really hedge my bets at this point.
All right, then.
It's not here. Let's slowly walk through this tunnel. You know, take anything that we need. Some burned lady. Weird name for a fucking plant, but what are you gonna do? Could have been in there, but I mean we have access through there now, so let's we'll take the slow way. We'll take the long way around, just, you know, check. There's a mace there. That's not a key, but hey, some more loot that I forgot. Or just didn't get. It's the same thing. He's definitely in here. Like, he's definitely in either this room or that one. The problem being we don't have the proper key. That's like the only problem. The other one doesn't have a fucking door. Like an actual, like, we don't know. There is no, like, door we know of. Here it is. Experimental notes. This hastily written entry is dotted with blots of ink. I refuse to continue wasting my time with these stitchwork grotesqueries. What work is spent in granting the rotting corpse, the feeblest spark of life is later tripled in repairs. Truly, they come apart all at the seams. The sight of them in the corridor has come to disgust me. They hold nothing of the subject's vitality, intelligence, coordination. Only a brute obedience. Flesh has too gentle a grasp upon the essence. That much is clear. Little wonder by the fools at Brackenbury were willing to pawn these sorry specimens off so cheaply. Medicchio, the stench. And look at that. A key that I missed. Would you look at that? It's the exact key we're looking for.
Steady does it.
An elderly man hunches over a clustered desk in the back of the workshop. His flesh is pulled tightly around him. Around thin, fragile-looking bones, except around his neck, where it hangs in loose wattles. He turns as you enter, a scowl already chiseled into his lined face.
Back again? I told you.
He hesitates, squinting at you from behind smudged, dirty spectacles.
Of course, a fresh fool to replace the last fools. What brings you stomping through my workshop, eh?
He draws his words out, looking you up and down. A sneer creeps across his face. I've got questions about Durgan's battery and the White Forge.
Straight to business, no nonsense. We appreciate that, don't we?
He turns to the bronze golem over his shoulder.
Anything for a breather from your endless yammering.
The voice echoes from within the golem. Aye, I've got a fancy for this already.
Hear that, Timora? Another who would tolerate your barbs and insults.
It's gonna clear our throat.
But you come seeking the White Forge, like they all do. Boys with smooth cheeks and wild dreams. Girls with bright ribbons tied next to their scabbards.
His voice raises and falls with the sing-song of mockery.
Old men and women, too, seeking a final blaze of glory before they're snuffed out for another turn at the wheel. Sound familiar?
His smile is as rigid as he looks. His smile is rigid as he looks at you. Oh, there it is. And the corner of his eyes twitches. You've said this all before, I take it.
I have this conversation with every pig-headed swashbuckler those Postenagos and stalwarts send here. Go see Gilvano, they say. Surely he'll help you.
Must have slipped their minds what a busy and important fellow you are.
In the silence that follows, the temperature in the room seems to drop. Gilvano stares at her.
I should have let them stone you. Would have silenced your endless rattling forever.
The hanging folds of skin beneath his neck tremble.
Then you'd have naught but those frostbitten inbreds for company.
I guess this is what it's like if Alof and Isimir were two separate people. Come now, I sound nothing like either of them. Focus, please. Aldrich said you could help me.
Ah, the only one young enough to have any sense. And since his mother runs that town now, who am I to argue?
He laughs bitterly.
The villagers and their adventurers hammer and pry at the battery as if they were laying siege to some mouldering lord's keep.
He swats the air in front of his face.
But those stones were laid by some of the finest builders ever to have lived, disciples of Abidan in the truest sense. They will not fall by the whims of any kith. And the door itself, it is infused with living essence.
He holds his hands before him and his eyes are wide with wonder. The dwarves themselves must have had a way of getting in.
Perfetto! This is the crux of the matter.
He claps his hands together.
The Pargrunen of Durgan's battery perished within their own keep, victims of a violent disagreement among their own commandants.
His mouth twists into a wicked grin.
Surely in the village you have heard stories, no? Disappearing caravans, tracks in the snow, screams from the high towers.
He pauses, watching your expression with a recounting glee.
The work of spirits still trapped in the battery, and a testament to those impenetrable walls.
He raps on the mortared stone of his own home.
But the door of the keep, the one the Pargrunen filled with essence, it was made to listen, to recognize its masters.
So I need the door to recognize me.
Traditional Aptapo cultures revolved around language. Words revealed who they were and where they were from. That is why you need a Kantek.
He holds up a twisting finger. What's a Kantek?
Some liken it to a poem, others to an anthem. In reality, it is more than either.
He holds his hand out. He holds one hand out, turning it this way and that in a balancing motion.
A Kantek is a statement of purpose, a declaration of identity. Each is unique to its stronghold.
Ha! See your door of a key of words, and any lie I can talk his way through. There's nothing built of words that won't break with the slightest stress, when the slightest stress is applied.
Thus, to enter a fortress like Durgan's battery, you would stand at the gate and recite its Kantek.
Very well. Where would I learn this Kantek?
To learn the Kantek, you must speak with one of the dwarves of Durgan's battery. A shame they are all dead, no?
He rubs his hands together, pacing.
But no doubt their souls live on in one or two of the villagers of Stalwart. Like fine wine poured into a cheap pot.
Derision curls his lips.
But to identify them, that is the first problem. You would need the skills of an animancer.
I'm a watcher. The golem swivels her head sharply towards you, her mask of a face and the glass eyes behind it betraying no emotion, but it seems as she's watching you carefully.
A watcher? The Verus? If this is true, then you could find a sole descendant from Durgan's battery, no question. But the greater difficulty remains.
Gilvano rubs his gaunt, whiskered cheeks.
You would have to learn the Cantic from the dormant soul. And to do that, you would have to awaken it.
But this awakening would be permanent, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes. Whoever you awaken will live with the memories and the personality of a past life. Maybe peacefully, maybe not.
His bony shoulders rise in a shrug.
That is why you must pay attention to the soul you would awaken, no? It is a monumental thing to impose on another, but these are the very people who wish to rediscover the White Forge, Verus.
He removes his spectacles and polishes the dirty lenses of his tunic. So the Cantic is all I need.
Who can say? None have yet opened Durgan's battery.
Gilvano raises his palms up.
But the ones that came before you, I think they got close. You may wish to find them and see what they discovered.
I found what's left of them, a journal and a tile.
Most interesting.
He adjusts his spectacles as he peers at the tile.
They spent many days at the battery door. This looks like something that once belonged there.
He taps the tile. Awaken someone. How would I do that?
An awakening is merely the jolting of a dormant soul into consciousness.
He makes a bursting motion with his hands, splaying his fingers wide.
When such things happen normally, it is because something has reminded the subject of a past life, often violently so.
He smacks his workbench with surprising vigour. Alof villagers.
Thus, to awaken one of the former dwarves of Durgan's battery, you will need to address that soul, and preferably by name.
He folds his hands together, steepling his fingers.
But show some care.
Steeping his fingers.
When you examine these souls, whatever it is you watchers do, you may see images, memories.
He leans forward, his back hunched.
These are moments of special import. What you see will tell you much about the person, and perhaps the condition in which they awaken.
He raises his hoary eyebrows and tilts his head back.
Awaken them from a traumatic memory, and who knows? Maybe they awaken thirsty for blood. Or maybe you awaken someone else.
Cackles again. Aldwyn, you mustn't do this. To condemn another to a fate like Mirwald's. He shakes his head.
Here. This has been tuned to the Aeon of Durgan's battery. Use it near the villagers, and it should tell you if one has a soul old enough to have come from the battery.
He rummages around and produces an unfamiliar device. I see. Thank you for your help.
You have much work ahead of you. As do I.
He nods and turns back to his desk.
I'm going with him.
The golem looks between you, her neck turning on its oiled joints.
You? Go to Stalwart? Is this your macabre sense of humor, or has something gone to rust in that beautiful head I crafted?
No one will bother me while I'm with him. Besides, I can help him find people in Stalwart.
The golem's burnished face is eerily impassive.
You haven't been to Stalwart in 13 years. And this watcher sees souls. What help could you be? Besides, I have need of you here. You owe whatever remains of your wicked life to me.
A frown sours on his lips as he taps this chest with a crooked finger. The golem says nothing, but her essence smolders. Resentment rises from her in shimmering waves. She tilts her head to look at you. What's the story between you two?
This charming specimen is a convicted murderer. The Devil of Carrick, she's called.
Mighty fine of you to start with my good qualities, and you wonder why we don't get more visitors.
Killed over a dozen people before they finally caught up to her in Stalwart. Perfect company for lonely camps and mountain passes, no?
He nudges you, all while grinning wickedly at the motionless golem.
Hey, I know how to start a campfire.
The only reason she's not a frozen corpse is because I convinced the old mayor to let me try an experiment.
A shadow passes over his face. You'd put a person's soul into a metal body? He leans back, raising his hands.
Into a work of art! Look at this! Craftsmanship worthy of a jeweler.
He traces the scroll work that runs along the golem's jaw.
Fully articulated joints, capable of grasping a pen and writing her own name.
He grabs her hand and delicately bends her tapered fingers.
And of crushing your throat.
She snatches her hand away.
Show me another smith anywhere in the Deerwood who is capable of such delicacy and precision. She is a masterpiece.
Gilvano steps back and takes a longer look at her. Why'd you build her?
Why build a fortress or a village or anything? To make something that keeps, that...
A disgusted sigh rattles in his throat.
It was the early days of the legacy. My peers in the colleges of Animancy were filling the Hollowborn with the souls of animals.
He pauses, scratching his chin. You're right. By comparison, this sounds perfectly sane. He rolls his eyes.
I thought there was a better way.
He is silent for several seconds, his gaze growing distant.
One with a plum academy job back in Salona? Don't forget that part.
He glares at her with narrowed eyes. Why is she called the Derel of Karak?
She committed her first crime in the village of Karak. Burned a family alive in their home.
He shrugs.
Did the same thing in half a dozen other villages, but the name stuck.
I take it your experiment didn't go over so well with the rest of the village?
Here we go.
She rolls her eyes, rasping them against their sockets.
They were going to stone her anyway. Why not allow her to be put to some useful purpose?
His lips curl back from yellowing teeth.
My life's ambition. To serve somebody's useful purpose.
I approached Mayor Sinahiyod and begged. He saw the potential and allowed me the privilege of attempting my little experiment.
He sneers at the words and the indignity they recall. His shoulders are stooped and his teeth bared.
Then, I accomplished what few animancers have even dreamed of. No academic support, no patron. Just me in the middle of nowhere.
He jabs a finger into his concave chest.
Oh, now you got 'em all wound up.
I transferred a fully intact soul from a living subject to a fabricated body. She retained her personalities, her memories, all of it.
He claws at the air with one thick-veined hand.
Yet the villagers saw only a stolen corpse.
He throws up his hands. Aren't you afraid she'll murder you?
She may be mad, but she's no fool. She wouldn't survive long on her own. If the villagers didn't send a hunting party after her, the Elements would claim her. Her joints and mechanisms require maintenance, and she cannot perform all of it herself.
See, he's reminding me. In case I get any bright ideas.
That's all I wanted to know.
She's a fine specimen, her personality notwithstanding.
He waves one hand in a circular motion. The golem says nothing, but her essence smolders, resentment rising. I'd like her to travel with me.
Quay? No, you don't know what you ask.
He shakes his head, waving his hands.
This woman, the Devil of Karak, she was a notorious murderer, burned people alive all over the region. Besides, she works for me. After all, I am the one who preserved her.
He straightens his back and looks up and down, taking your measures. Let me parade her around town. It'll infuriate this villagers. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
So you get use of the Devil's services, and I get the satisfaction of knowing those stiffnecks are sweating through their small clothes, eh?
He sighs, but a small grin already worked its way across his face.
It's a deal.
Fine price for a blacksmith striker. Suppose I should be flattered.
And there you have it, a bargain.
A rogue. I don't actually have anyone I'm willing to get rid of. You know what, for now, we'll get rid of Zora.
Very well.
Just to see if how she's going to do.
A moment. You are going back to Stalwart, yes? Perhaps you could do me a favor.
Tell me about this favor.
There is a man in the village named Grinde, the head fisherman. The rest of Stalwart kisses his feet because he fills their stinking blades with speckleback. But I know he's not as virtuous as he seems.
Seems like you have a history of
That
Grindy.
self-righteous meddler engineered my eviction from the village. He turned them all against me. Now I want him to feel the scorn of those mush-brained imbeciles.
What exactly do you want me to do to him?
Humiliate him, of course. Show his neighbors what he truly is. And let him live with the disgrace.
He points vaguely in the direction of the village, his thin arms trembling.
He's always been a ripple sponge addict. Just got good at hiding it once his sainted sister died and left him in charge of the fishery. But he keeps a stash in the fishery, sneaks in at night when the others have gone home, and emerges sluggish and red-eyed a few hours later. I want you to expose him. Go to the fishery after dark when it's empty. Find his ripple sponge and show it to Renengild.
I see.
Do not answer me now. But when you return to that festering eyesore and smell the stink of fish that hangs in the air, consider what I've said. Besides, you appreciate a good joke, don't you? De Verus, this will be a great one. But be sure to approach the fishery by night, when it's empty. They will give you no end of trouble if they see you stealing during the day.
Farewell. In the next part, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue talking to him.
Right here.
Let's have a quick look at our new companion. So her armor is... Sorry. So we cannot take this off of her. And we can enchant her body. That makes no fucking sense, but... Can enchant it to be fine. We'll give it of dexterity. We'll make it freeze proof. Yeah, just to make her a little bit safer. She has a spear. Take off that spear here. Give her a unique spear. And we're gonna have to unfortunately end this part here, ladies and gentlemen. In the next part, we can finish talking to Gilvano, go back to Stalwell, and we'll see what we can do. See you guys then.